The former vice president of South Sudan, Riek Machar, is honoring an invitation from South Africa to take asylum there. Mr. Machar has been in neighboring Sudan after being deposed as vice president following violence in the capital Juba between his forces and those loyal to President Salva Kiir. Kenya, however, is involved in peace talks between the two leaders about Machar's exile, and it was on their suggestion that he is headed to South Africa. South Africa's government spokesperson, Manoa Ephesisu, said an agreement was reached at the regional IGAD meeting held in Somalia last week for Kenya to send more troops to Somalia ahead of elections expected to be held between the 24th of September and the 10th of October. It had been responding to inquiries on why President Uhuru Kenyatta had cancelled plans to travel to New York to attend the annual UN General Assembly meeting. He said Mr. Kenyatta's presence was needed to handle the fast-moving situation in Somalia and South Sudan. Well, 3 foreigners who were recently freed from an Islamic State prison in the Libyan city of Sirte have arrived in Misrata. The 2 Indian men identified as C. Balaram Kishan and T. Gopal Krishna, and another unidentified man were taken to a hotel in Misrata, around 230 kilometers northwest of Sirte. The 2 Indian men, professors at separate Libyan universities, were captured by Islamic State almost a year and a half ago while traveling to the Libyan capital, Tripoli. Libyan forces aligned with the UN-backed government have been facing stiff resistance from holdouts at Islamic State's former stronghold of Sirte for months. Some 400 Libyan soldiers had been killed and about 2,500 injured in the operation to recapture the city on the Mediterranean coast in northern Libya.
Not in one prison, they shifted from one prison to other prison. Altogether, we were kept in 8 prisons. And in 8 prisons, the conditions were not good. We had to put up with bad conditions in those prisons.
Meanwhile, Libyan forces linked with the UN-backed government have battled Islamic State militants in their last hideouts in the city of Sirte in a renewed push after a break in fighting for the Muslim celebrations of Eid. At least 2 people were killed in clashes after pro-government forces bombed neighborhoods inside the city, targeting militants who have been holding on in the last section of Sirte after months of street-to-street fighting. U.S. strikes and helicopter raids, along with small teams of Western Special Forces, have helped the Libyan troops advance in Sirte. And on a sad note, South Africa's music industry is today mourning the death of one of its icons, Mduduzi Tshabalala, popularly known as Mandoza. He died on Sunday at the age of 38 after a year-long battle with cancer. President Jacob Zuma said in a statement that South Africa has lost one of its pioneers whose music appealed to a cross-section of our people, young and old, and was known to have achieved the unique crossover culturally to be enjoyed by both black and white South Africans. Mandoza released several Kwaito albums, and most of his songs became hits, including his debut album, La Canta. And that's it on Network Africa today. Thank you so much for watching. I am BC Adebayo.